Hey guys, what is going on? Today I have something really exciting for me because I've been waiting to do this one for a very, very long time. So, I have put off doing a Halloween ranking forever. I basically had a plan to watch Kills in 2020 when it was supposed to come out and finally put out just my personal favorites from my least favorite to my most favorite that I enjoy watching, that I like the most. Um, so I'll just give you the heads up. This is just my opinion, and I'm not going by what's the best made movie, so to speak. I'm just going by which ones give me the most joy, that I love watching the most, especially around Halloween. So I'm kind of putting them in that ranking order. So think of it from that point of view. And I know lots of you guys are going to disagree with me about some things, and that's totally cool. I absolutely respect your opinions. And there's a lot of these that you could kind of move around a little bit too and have over the years, because some are really fantastic and they can move. But currently, this is my breakdown from worst to best on how I rank the Halloween franchises personally. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so let's start at the bottom. I'm going to try to get through this really quick. My Friday the 13th video I made with all sorts of my favorite clips and everything, and it ran like a half hour, and of course nobody's going to want to watch it because it's too long. But it's a clips thing, so if you like clips and stuff, you might actually enjoy watching it. But this one I'm just going to kind of whip through it as quick as I can and focus just on my favorites. So at the bottom of the list, of course, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. What can I say? I love Rob Zombie. He makes great movies. It's just his style with Halloween to me has never really worked well. Okay, so that's definitely on the bottom. So that's all I really need to say about that. And it's sort of the same for the first one, which is actually not the second last. The second last in the number 11 spot for me is Halloween 5. Can't stand Halloween 5. I really hate the direction they took with it. I hated that Jamie was a mute for most of the show, Danielle Harris I really like. She's great. I used to crush on her back in '88. I was like 12 years old. I think she was 11 or so. Like, we were just about the same age. And yeah, I've always thought she was awesome. But I hated Halloween 5. And man, it's just bad. Worst mask, in my opinion, too. Did not like it. The story's bad. It's just, no, you know what I mean? In the number 10 spot is actually Resurrection, of course. A lot of people have that down at the bottom. I think that's fairly common to leave it at the bottom, but Resurrection is definitely my number 10 spot. It is not one of my favorites at all. I didn't enjoy it a whole heck of a lot. I thought it was kind of cheesy and silly. Not one of the better Halloween films, but I ranked all three of those below Rob Zombie's Halloween. So his original Halloween, like I said, I'm not a fan of for the same reasons, but had you taken that movie and basically changed the story a little bit so it wasn't Michael Myers, definitely used different names, just a few subtle changes, and you could have had a really good Rob Zombie movie that didn't get all this criticism and didn't get all these purist Halloween fans in the way. You know what I mean? Because I enjoy House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, Three from Hell, the whole nine yards. You know what I mean? Like, they're good movies. Rob's music is awesome. I listened to his stuff way before I ever watched his movies. He wasn't making movies back then, but I appreciate the guy. I think he's good at what he does, and I enjoy his movies. I just think that style doesn't work as well. I think it would have worked way better with, say, like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre type movie, where it's more and big and loud and gritty and in your face and raw, you know what I mean? Halloween is more like it's like a scalpel, and a slow burn, psychologically disturbing, where his style is very in your face, like right up loud, blasting in your face. Giant Myers, the long hair, it's just, for me, that doesn't work for Halloween. you know, and I think that's the problem so many people had with it. It's not that it sucked in that regard. As a Rob Zombie movie, it's cool. It's just you're using all these Halloween aspects, and people are just, it doesn't work. Yuck. They don't like it, right? So that's kind of how that one got hurt. Moving on. Okay, in the number 8 spot, I put Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Okay, I don't mind this movie. It's okay. It's not great. I was never a fan of the whole Thorn thing. You got the producer's cut. It explains things a lot more, I guess you could say. I don't mind that. The theatrical, I don't mind either. I mean, I guess pick your poison. They're okay. Not the greatest films, but that's where I'd stick that one in number 8. And then we basically have the dividing line. Okay, by number 7 is basically the dividing line between where the good films kind of begin. You know, number 7, I put Halloween H2O. Thought H2O was pretty good. Wasn't a big fan of seeing Michael's eyes constantly in every shot, or the way he moved in that. It was kind of odd. But it was a good movie. You know, it was pretty good. It felt like a decent Halloween movie. Wasn't as good as some of the others, you know, but it was definitely good. Enjoyable, I guess you could say. I enjoyed that movie enough to put it there. After that, in the top 6, I went with Halloween 3. Now, Halloween 3 is one of those ones that, you know, a lot of people hated at first. The whole lack of Michael Myers thing, we've heard it a million times. I just feel it's something I had to mature on, because when I watched it when I was young, I was just pissed off there's no Michael Myers. And there was only 2 other Halloweens at the time, right? So both had Myers, both were great. I loved them both. And the third one comes out and you're like, where's Myers, right? But later on, you know, after all these other movies are made, you realize 3 is actually just, it's kind of a fun Halloween movie, you know? And Tom Atkins is awesome in it. And yeah, it's just a fantastic, fun movie. And I really enjoy it now. I mean, like, that's a movie, see, I have it in the number 6 spot. There's 5 ahead of it, but it's arguably, it could be higher. You know? All right, so getting into the nitty-gritty, the top 5. Okay, this one is going to ruffle some feathers, and I do apologize because I know this could be higher on the list. But for me, and I'm not a newer fan. Like, I'm a guy that started watching Halloween, you know, I was about 10 years old. Now, I know I'd seen parts of it on TV here and there when I was probably, you know, 4 or 5, like really young. Because I was born a little before it was made. I was around anyway. But I'm sure it was on TV a few times by the time I was, you know, 3 or 4. Excuse me. But anyway, when I first watched all the way through, I was probably about 10 years old. So I really enjoyed the first one and the second one. And, you know, 3 was totally oddball to me. But what I put in the number 5 spot is Halloween 2. Now, I know a lot of you love it, and although I do love it, it is really good. Like, I have 3 behind it. I love 3. So I do love 2. It's just, there were some things about 2 when I was younger that I didn't like as much, that I noticed on my own. Like, things like how Michael Myers looked. I thought he looked a lot different. His head was very wide, you know. His coveralls were really short. I've always been a big costume guy. I mean, that's why I have the cosplay stuff. You know, I always like to do stuff like that. But he looked like he had sort of flood pants on a little bit. You know what I mean? They were a little high, and his movements to me, I thought did look very, you know, very robotic, like. And I know he's taken some criticism over the years about it being robotic and stuff, but I've always thought that. It's not like I've been reading that all along, go, oh, it's robot. Like, I don't buy into that shit. That's just how I felt about it. I felt he was kind of robotic. And it's not that I didn't think he was a good Myers, because I do think he's good. I think he's a top 4 for sure, in my opinion. I know some people love him. He's like number 1. Ben, I'm really sorry. I know you love him. And like I said, all respect in the world for Dick Warlock. He's a great Michael Myers. Back then, when I watched the first one compared to the second, The second, to me, he seemed to move funny to me. It seemed to be kind of, you know, digital. It didn't seem like he was some weirdo escaped patient who was stalking babysitters, right? He seemed like some kind of a little machine that was going. So I guess that brought it down a little. And I didn't like how Laurie was not used very much at all. Like, she was this, you know, this very central character. You're following along. She's making all these smart moves. She knows something's wrong, you know, she can smell it. And the other girls don't see it at all, you know. So to have her in the second movie just pretty much entirely in the hospital was rough. And then she was just this helpless victim at the end, you know. And I always thought the shooting out of the eyes was a little strange, you know. I thought that, I was like, huh? But I get it now. I totally get it. Like, whatever. You know, it is a good movie. It has a lot of really good, intense scenes that are suspenseful and stuff. And it does feel a lot like the first film. So I do love it. It's just some of these other movies that have come out recently, as you can tell, have ranked a little higher on the list. And again, this is just the movies that I tend to enjoy more, that bring me joy. You know what I mean? So that's top 5 is Halloween 2. Okay, moving on to number 4. Number 4, I gave Halloween 4, right here. Okay, Halloween 4, I ranked that higher because of how much I enjoy watching the movie. I enjoy watching the movie even more than 2. And it's just, there's something about it. I think, again, it's that time that it came out. It came out, I think, in 1988. And, you know, I was about 12 years old. And I was really into horror. And Michael Myers was back. And it was just like, holy shit, is this ever cool? You know, and it's a decent story. And it's beautiful. It's got one of the most beautiful openings to any Halloween film ever. Even though it doesn't do that cool font and the pumpkin, that's the ultimate. But Halloween 4's opening is just beautiful. All those shots, they just scream Halloween to me. They just get you right in the mood. And I thought it was a really fun story. Donald Pleasance is great in it. I really enjoy Halloween 4. That's another reason why I'm missing my Scream Factory set. I really want to see it in 4K, but I don't know if it's going to make it in time. Anyway, Halloween 4, major thumbs up for that. I've always really enjoyed it. The only thing I didn't like about it, of course, is his mask. Yeah, his mask is a little weird looking. It's not very good. But it is a mask that has grown on me a lot over the years. I'll be honest. At first, I thought I was like, what the hell is that? You know, why didn't they bring back the other style mask? But, you know, it has grown on me. It does look creepy and eerie in its own way with those weird eyebrows and everything too. But it's a creepy mask. And yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. What can I say? Okay, moving on to number 3. This was tough for me because yeah, with all this stuff going on recently with the new movies since 2018, I don't know, they just really impressed me. And I know a lot of you didn't enjoy it as much as I did, and a lot of you did. So I'm one of those ones that really did enjoy it. And the number 3 spot I gave to H40. That's the 2018 film. Now, the reason why I've clearly put Kills ahead of it in a spot is because while I was watching it, there were many times where I thought back to the 2018 film when I was watching Kills, and I was thinking, wow, I'm more excited than I was when I was watching even the 2018 film, and I was super excited for that. So I kept feeling like that a lot while I was watching it. Even though I think the 2018 film is a more complete film and extremely enjoyable front to back. That's why I gave it the 3rd spot. You know, I mean, I really loved that film. I thought they did such a good job with it. I thought it was all kinds of fun. Sure, there was some weird stuff. Sartain is a little odd, and you know, but I like the whole podcaster element, you know, and I thought Jamie Lee Curtis, that character was awesome. Like the whole way they brought back that franchise was great, and to see James J. Courtney doing his thing, great, and have Nick Castle back on there, you know. It was just really cool. It's a great movie. I was so happy when that came back. and I saw it and I really enjoyed it. I thought, man, they did a great job with this movie. This movie is kick-ass. It was just super fun. So I couldn't put anything else below it at the time, other than, you know. Anyway, moving on to number 2, I did pick Halloween Kills. Okay, so Halloween Kills I put just a smidge ahead of it because it was just this action, you know. There was a very slow lull, excuse me, in the middle. So that was a little bit slow. But ultimately, the movie, it just had so many holy shit scenes where I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my god, you know, and I was surprised, and it was almost always pleasantly surprised. I wasn't really disappointed with anything. I mean, you know, Evil Dies Tonight, that was a little rough how often they said that stuff, right? That was a little ridiculous, and you know, there were some scenes that probably didn't necessarily need to be in there. But I enjoyed it. I thought they did a better job than Halloween 2 with Laurie's character. I thought she had better dialogue, more meaningful dialogue. Again, I thought James was really, really good in it. You know, just the suspense that was brought back into some scenes. I thought that mask looked so cool. And it was just wild seeing Michael Myers just go to fucking town on the town. Yeah, he really did quite the number. And it was amazing to watch, you know. You're just like, holy shit. It was just one moment after another of that. And it was so anticipated for me. Right now, I enjoy watching that so much. I put it just slightly ahead of the 2018 film. Although, you could almost flip-flop them. I'm a big fan of both of those. I thought they did a great job. I hope Halloween Ends is worthy and can kind of climb into that area anyway, or at least in the top 5 or 6. I'd be pretty happy. But no surprise to the number 1 spot, the original 1978. Nothing is going to beat that film. That's my pick is the greatest horror film ever made. And if it's not my favorite horror film, it's definitely my top 2, I would say. But it's, you know, I think it's the best one ever made. By far my favorite Halloween film. And it's just beautifully shot. The story, like, there never should have even been any sequels. It was just the story of the boogeyman. And, you know, you can't kill him. And, you know, the score, fantastic. John Carpenter. Deborah Hill, you know, amazing stuff. Like, they keep trying to duplicate that. It's never going to happen. And I think we're too hard on them, expecting them to do that, you know. Like, I think we have to tone it down a little and expect none of these films are ever going to be perfect, and there's going to be things we can tear apart. But as for Kills, I thought they did a great job, and I'm impressed. It made it all the way to my second favorite Halloween film currently to watch and bring me joy. But yeah, I really love those ones. I mean, H3, H2, H4, H40, and of course H-Kills. All of those movies are awesome. I would never turn any of them down. They're fantastic to watch. So currently that's where I have them sitting, and I know it's not necessarily the best made movie in order or whatever, but that's just kind of what I personally prefer to watch out of all of them. So this probably ran a little longer than I wanted it to, but anyway, let me know what you guys think. You know, give me your choices. I'd love to talk about it and you know, discuss. It'll be fun. Again, no disrespect at all to you guys if you disagree and you think, you know, I have stuff way out of whack, and you know, that could be, and that's cool. It's like I said, it's just my opinion on what I enjoy watching the most, not necessarily what's the best. You know what I mean? So let me know what you think, guys. And thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again for the next one.